What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Brawl. Obviously, the second now that we have received of the three of the Combaticons, even though it obviously says 3 on there. I just haven't reviewed Blastoff because I actually got Blastoff after I got Brawl. But regardless, technically the second for me that I've received of the three Combaticons. And so when it comes to the Combaticons, obviously everyone is really excited for Bruticus. And when it comes to the Combaticons so far, guys, I've got Blastoff right next to me too to do the comparison later, but I gotta say, these Combaticons have kind of been knocking it out of the park, guys. I think Bruticus is sort of shaping up to be the best combiner that we've seen thus far. So take a look at the box here. You can see the Transformers logo there. You can see the Age of the Primes logo right there. Obviously, you can see the Combaticon Brawl right there. Some more nice artwork here on the side. Obviously, it says 3 of 5, even though it's technically for me, it's 2 of 5. It says 3 of 5 on the front here. And obviously, the nice artwork here of Brawl, both in his robot mode as well as in his very cool tank mode. And then you have some more nice artwork here of the Primes on the other side. And then finally, you have your obligatory product shots of Brawl himself. Transforms in 23 steps. But that's really it for the packaging. I think Hasbro kills it with the packaging as per usual. And so without further ado, alrighty, folks, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Brawl in his tank mode. And guys, I gotta say, this is pretty fantastic all around. This is an amazing figure. However, this figure has one major issue, and unfortunately, it's not really the figure itself. It's not the details. It's not really the articulation. It's actually something else, and it's a real big shame that that's the case. So regardless, we'll get into that when we get into the robot mode in specific. But when it comes to the actual tank mode, taking a look at this, like I told you, really, really good. I mean, taking a look at this tank mode, it is absolutely gorgeous, and all the weapons store on here really, really nicely. This is one of those modes, I think, in Transformers in general, where weapon mode storage on a tank really doesn't feel all that, you know, out of place, even though it may not be the prettiest. It kind of makes sense, you know, like it feels good to see a tank with a ton of guns or, you know, weapons on it whatsoever, right? And so it looks really, really nice, but it feels really dense. That's one thing I'd like to talk about with this guy. He feels like really dense, really heavy. Genuinely, the plastic feels really, really good on this guy. Overall, looks really, really fantastic. So take a look at the details here. You can see all this nice molded in detail across the side. The treads are nicely molded. He's also got 4 wheels. He rolls all right. Not necessarily the best, not the worst, but he rolls all right. You can see the nice molded in treads. You can see, obviously, the wheels inside of the treads. Those look really, really nice. Just a very nice molded detail. Sure, Brawl didn't really have much like colors. He was this gray, and he's got this, you know, this very military green. But at the end of the day, I mean, they did a really good job. You can see even the tank barrel's got some really nice molded in detail here on the top as well. Now, the accessories are very well integrated into this mode, as you can see. So this is his gun that he can hold. It looks really, really good. Very nicely molded. Nice, this, you know, this dark gray with all this nice molded in detail. Can't really complain. You can see those little rivets right there. Those look really nice as well. More right there on the barrel of the gun as well. You can plug it in on either side. So you have 5mm ports here as well as here. So you can plug them in on either side. Unfortunately, this is not blast effect compatible, so that's a bit of a shame. Really unfortunate that that's the case. But overall, it does look nice. And then the other accessories are these two guns here on the back. They just tab into these two tab holes here with these tabs here, but these look really, really nice. I like how they're like big barrels, and then you can angle them up and down like so, but you can take a look, just taking a look at them. Yeah, you can see they look really, really nice. But even the tank mode without these guns, I mean, if we remove everything, it still looks really, really good. And plus the barrel turns from the center, unlike Megatron or something like that, even Megatronus. And the tank barrel goes up and down as well. So really, overall, I mean, looking at this tank mode, I mean, just in and of itself, it's really good. But it just feels complete when you just plug this in there. You plug this in there. You plug this in on one of the sides. Doesn't matter which one. I think it looks good on either side. And even when you look on the bottom, sure, you can see a little bit of his head poking out there. But for the most part, I mean, pretty damn clean. It looks a little hollow, but for the most part, especially when you get into a robot mode, there's really no hollow spaces in this guy. And he feels, again, feels really, really good. So overall, fantastic looking tank mode. And what we'll do is I'll set him off to the side here. We'll put a picture of how he appeared on the screen in the actual show. I think he represents it really, really well. Overall, a fantastic representation of what we saw in the G1 cartoon. And I cannot wait to have him alongside when we finally get, you know, the other, when we get him fully completed as Bruticus. I can't wait to have him alongside Menasor, Devastator, Superion, and obviously I am really holding out for a Defensor, and I'm hoping that they take, you know, if this is a really good combiner, which it's shaping out to be, I hope that they take a lot of this and they, you know, throw it into Defensor, they throw it into Predaking, to make those even better than the last ones, which is really, really tough to do, but they've been doing it, and I really think that this is, again, going to turn out to be the best combiner of the ones that we've gotten so far. And so, since he's off off to the side there, we're going to be doing our size comparisons. Alrighty, folks, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. Of course, when it comes to the fact that he's a Voyager, he's kind of like Scrapper in the way that, yeah, he is not exactly a Voyager size, but the plastic quality, the engineering, that really sets him apart here in terms of the Voyager scale, especially because when you're holding these two in hand, definitely Magnus feels a lot lighter. Brawl feels a lot denser, a lot more compact. The plastic feels a little bit better as well. Overall, even though that the size may not really look like it is a Voyager, at the end of the day, the engineering, the plastic quality, the other stuff really, really comes through for that Voyager class price point. Alrighty, here he is with one of his teammates, Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Vortex. Obviously, one of the other Combaticons that we have currently gotten. And so when it comes to Vortex, these two look great together. Again, Brawl being a Voyager should probably be, in most people's eyes, maybe a bit bigger. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at all that he's a bit bigger. And honestly, especially for being a foot, being Devastator, being Bruticus's left foot, I'm actually really, really happy with it. So at the end of the day, no sweat off my back with this size. And finally, for a figure I've yet to review, but we will be reviewing very soon, here he is with the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Blastoff. As you can see, these two also look great together. Blastoff is a little bit bigger than Vortex, a little bit girthier overall, but for the most part, when it comes to the sizing, I'm not too mad about it, because at the end of the day, a space shuttle should be a significant bit larger than this tank at the end of the day, especially when you see how big space shuttles are. But when it comes to this space shuttle mode, this really makes me want, also sort of a sidetrack, I'd love to see a Studio Series 86 Astro Train. I would love to see a redone Astro Train from Siege, because I think it's been a long time overdue since we've gotten a more cartoon accurate Astro Train, and I really do hope that we end up getting one day, because this shuttle mode, I'll tell you right away, even before we do the review for this guy, is absolutely amazing. It's just super clean, looks super good, and so having these two together looks really, really awesome. And I couldn't do this without having a final family photo. Here we have the three Combaticons that we currently have together, and they look fantastic. Again, we're waiting for Swindle. We already have Onslaught on pre-order, so definitely pre-order your Onslaughts on Big Bad Toy Store and Hasbro Pulse. Just look online. Definitely pre-order your Onslaughts now if you're looking to get your Bruticus, because he's on pre-order now. And definitely also taking a look at, when we're looking at the Bruticus picture that they showed us, we've seen little bits and pieces of Swindle. He looks really, really good. Obviously, we've really only seen him in his limb mode, but you can get an idea of how his Jeep mode looks. Obviously, the only thing we really haven't seen up until this point is his full robot mode. Now, that may change between when I've recorded this and when this review actually comes out, but for the most part, we actually haven't seen Swindle's robot mode. And if we do see Swindle's robot mode between now and when this video comes out and when it's edited, I will definitely put that in the video. But if it's not, and I do apologize if the news comes out like after this video has been edited and uploaded or something like that. But regardless, these three look great together, and I cannot wait to get Onslaught, and I cannot wait to get Swindle. Alrighty, folks, and now it's time to get into the transformation, and this is where this guy comes through a lot in terms of, like, the Voyager class price point. I think he's not complicated in terms of being frustrating, like MP44, because I will always quote that figure with being complicated and super frustrating, but when it comes to just being a really nicely engineered toy that you'll eventually get used to the transformation, this is really, really one of those toys that I think is amazing, like, Commander Class Optimus Prime and Studio Series 86 Megatron, so, really, really good stuff here. So, to do the transformation, we're going to remove all of the, accessories, just set those off to the side. What I like to do first is you can take this and you can inch it forward just to get it out of the way. Then I like to take the arms, what will become the arms, and then you can separate them from there. Then you can take these, and these should release automatically. Then you can take these and untab them and rotate them down. And then what you can do is you can rotate these all the way around. Then from here, when you rotate these down, what you want to do is you want to fold them in segments. So you fold this section in first, then you can fold the other section in as well, like this. And then what's really cool is that you untab this and you fold it down. And what you'll notice is that there's a tab hole right here, and that there is a tab right there, and then this will just fit right in like so. And then basically, this is his foot fully transformed already. So again, do the same thing on the other side. So you just fold these in like this. Get that all snapped in like that. Then you just fold this out and rotate it down, and then you just tab that all into place. And then you have his feet, basically. So that's really, really cool. I'm going to bring the camera up just a little bit, just so we can get a better view of the top of his transformation. Then from here, what you're going to do is you can come up here to the top. You can push this back just to get it out of the way. Fold this down and rotate this out, like so. Then what you're going to do, fold the head out, fold this down. You're going to pull the arms out just a little bit, just to give them more clearance for the entire chest to come down. Then what you're going to do for the arms is very simply, you can just push them back however you feel appropriate. I like to push them back like this. like that. Then you can fold, so these treads are usually out like this, and then you can just fold them down like that. And then from here to do the arms, you can just fold these in. To get more accurate, you can then take this, and I like to fold it down a bit. Take the tank barrel, put it up. You can sort of smush these together however you see fit. I don't really care to have them like super smushed in, but you can, these joints are really tight actually. But ladies and gentlemen, with that all out of the way, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Brawl in his absolutely fantastic looking robot mode. And guys, I gotta say, this looks amazing. I mean, there's nothing more to say about it. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put him off to the side here real quick, and we are going to put a picture of how he appeared in the cartoon. Sure, there's a little bit of inaccuracy, but it's nitpicking in my opinion at that point. To get this guy to look the way he does, to me, this is the best Brawl we've ever gotten that represents how he appeared in the Generation 1 cartoon. Really, really amazing stuff. I'm just really, really happy with how this guy looks. Like, I have no major complaints with how he looks. I mean, we're taking a look at the details here. I mean, look at that head sculpt. I mean, it looks so, so good. The maroon for his, face mask, the orange for the visor, the orange at the top of his head, the dark gray. Just looks really good all around. Even when you swing him on the back there, I mean, this looks really, really solid. And then what you can also do, you have very nice detail here in the chest, here in the abdomen as well. Like, it's just really good. Like, sure, he is not really many colors, but you even have a nice Decepticon logo right there on his forearm. Like, it just looks really, really good and really clean. Like, and then you look at the spaces, there's no hollow spaces. Sure, this might not be necessarily filled out, but there's no hollowness really in my opinion here. And even when you're looking at the end of the arms, sure, there's this bit, but that's really it. I mean, there's really not that much hollowness to this guy. He just feels dense. He feels really good, feels solid, and he just looks as accurate as he always did in the cartoon. Like I said, it kind of just looks like you ripped him right off the screen. Like, at the end of the day, this is an absolutely fantastic representation of what we saw in the G1 cartoon. And so, really, really cool stuff all around. What I'm going to show you, though, real quick, is the accessory integration. So, very quickly, if you turn the barrel around, you have these two ports, and then you can actually plug the guns on there, like this, and then he can have like shoulder cannons, which I think is really freaking cool. And then you can also plug the gun, and you can either plug it in on his arm as like a forearm gun, or you can just have him hold it. But regardless, this is cool. I just don't like, obviously, the tank barrel hanging out, but if you do like this, like, battle ready Brawl like this is really neat. Very nice design. I mean, very nicely designed and integrated, so I have no issues with it. Otherwise, they don't really store anywhere else, which is a bit of a shame. Like, you can't really store them. You can put them on the sides here, like this if you want, but I don't really like that. I think it just looks weird. Yeah, I mean, that just looks weird to me. And even if you do it the other way, it looks even weirder. like, hey guys, look, I got this giant pitchfork behind me. But it's a way to store if you wish to do it like that. But overall, when it comes to his robot mode, I have no major issues with it at all. It just looks really, really good. But like I told you, there is one major issue that I have with this figure. And like I said, it's not because of anything that this figure has, an issue with in terms of its articulation, its detail, its transformation. There's no real issues with that. There's issues with how this figure was made. And what I'll show you here is, basically, I'm not going to show you the limb mode in this video. And the reason is because the instructions don't give it to you. And so I'll obviously save that for when we do Bruticus. And obviously the way we do Bruticus is going to be very similar to how I did Devastator, how I did Superion. But what I'd like to show you is that this joint here is meant to be an ankle rocker joint. For Bruticus. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but if you look in there, there is a tiny stress mark right here where this screw is, and when I opened up the figure, this stress mark was much more prominent. And the reason is because I found out through some research online that the peg that goes inside of this gray bit, the green peg, is way too big. And it puts stress on this, and unfortunately, it causes this figure to have the possibility of snapping in half if you don't fix it. If you'd like the fix, what I did, I'll tell you what I did, and I'll tell you where I got it. I'll link the channel where I got this in the description below. So this is Mr. Lubat, I believe, so thank you to him for putting this video out. I know he got it from another reviewer that I've watched a good amount before, Justin's Collection, I believe. So both of them, I will leave both of their like the videos on how to fix this guy or comments on how to fix this guy in the description below, because of that I was able to fix this guy. Basically, what you have to do is you have to unscrew this screw. You then have to just pull him apart, and then you'll be able to pull him apart to where that green peg that puts the top half of the figure together with the bottom half of the figure. You have to take some sandpaper. You got to sand that down, and then use a hair dryer on the stressed part to relieve the stress, and then you screw it and put it all back together, and that should hopefully fix your Brawl. This is a real shame because obviously this is a fantastic figure, and of course this fantastic figure had to sort of be, ruined in a way by the fact that the factory decided to make the peg way too big, and obviously no one wants to risk their toy getting snapped in half, especially when you're a kid. Imagine kids buying this and then all of a sudden playing with it and then it just snapping in half randomly because of, what happened at the factory, where this was made, and the size of the peg that they decided to do, that they decided to make it. And so it's really unfortunate that I'm going to be knocking off points on this figure because of that, and I'm not knocking off points because this is just my copy. Pretty much every reviewer that I have seen get this figure has had the same issue where that stress mark is there as a risk of snapping in half. And like I said, it's a shame because it's not the actual figure's fault. There's no it doesn't have anything to do with the details, the paint, the articulation, the way that this guy looks, the way that he feels. It's just, of course, being a collector, and I assume that most of you guys are also collectors, you don't want that to ever happen to you. And so I spent like 20 or 30 minutes just making sure I got this guy fixed, but you shouldn't have to do that is my point. There's no reason us as collectors, and especially even kids, should have to do that. And so even though that this figure is really amazing all around, that is my biggest gripe with this figure. But at the end of the day, the fact is at least it's fixable, and that not many people have gotten their figure snapped in half because they found the issue right away. But if you didn't find the issue right away, definitely go and fix it right now, especially if you decide to get this figure. So at the end of the day, it's a real shame that that's a thing, but I had to point that out and talk about it because yeah, it is a major issue with this figure. Again, I will provide links in the description to Mr. Lubat's short, as well as I'll try and provide a link to Justin's collection, as well as his short on how to fix this guy. If I can, I'll try my best to find both of those, because that's how I was able to fix this guy. So at the end of the day, again, fantastic robot mode, looks amazing, awesome integration of his accessories. Just unfortunate that stress mark, the risk of this figure snapping in half is a thing that exists with this figure. But what we're going to do is we're going to set this guy off to the side, and we are going to be doing our size comparisons. Alrighty folks, here he is, the Transformers Legacy United Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, he does stand a bit taller than Magnus, so he's a bit taller than the average Deluxe Class figure, but he is about the same size as like a bigger Deluxe Class figure. But again, that density, the articulation, the engineering, that's where this guy really comes through for that Voyager Class price point. Alrighty guys, here he is, the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Vortex. As you can see, these two also look really, really good together, and I have no major complaints here. Again, Brawl should be bigger than Vortex, and that is absolutely evident right here. And finally, guys, here you have him with the soon-to-be reviewed Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Blastoff. As you can see, these two also look really, really good together. Blastoff is a little bit bigger than Vortex, but that makes sense at the end of the day. But I have no major complaints here with how these two look together. Again, Brawl's still a bit bigger, which absolutely tracks. And obviously, guys, I couldn't do, the vehicle mode comparison without doing the robot mode comparison. Here we have the current 3 family photo that we have of the Combaticons. Again, I will review Blastoff soon. You'll see that review probably next week if I had to imagine. And so at the end of the day, these 3 look great together. Again, I cannot wait to get Onslaught. I cannot wait to get Swindle. Bruticus is really shaping up to be the best combiner we've gotten thus far. Alrighty folks, it's time to get into his articulation, and this is where this guy absolutely shines as well. So the head's on a ball joint, so you can do a little bit of up and down, you can do a full 360 as well, and then you can do a little bit of side to side. You can also do a full 360 here at the shoulders, you can go out, you can go in, you have a 90-degree bend at the elbow, you have a rotation here at the upper part as well, and then what's cool is you have butterfly joints, which is really, really awesome, so you can get this guy in some really nice poses. Full 360 at the waist, which is amazing, because Scrapper didn't have that. Kick forward, kick back, 90-degree bend at the knee, rotation the upper part of the thigh, and then some wicked ankle rocker pivot right here. So you can see this guy very, very well articulated. You can get some awesome poses with this guy. So really, really cool stuff from Brawl. Fantastic articulation all around. Alrighty, folks, now it's time to get into the reverse transformation, which even though it's not frustrating and it's not super complicated, it's very, very cool. So what we're going to do, we're going to move the gun, straighten this guy all out. What I like to do is do the top a bit first. So what we can do here is we are going to fold this bit out. We can fold the head in, fold this up, and then you can start to rotate this up. Then for the arms, I like to flare them out to the side here, and then you can just fold, oops, this part comes off a decent bit, but not too bad. Fold these bits out, and then what you can do is that you can raise the camera up a little bit. You can take these bits and fold out what will be the front of the tank treads. Then for here on the legs, you can fold these out like so, and sort of fold them down like this, get them back in position. Then from here, you can fold the treads out like this on each side. Then what you're going to do is when you rotate these around, what you will know, actually, you have to rotate these around. Now what you'll notice is that there's a tab right there, and that there is a tab hole right there on the inside of each of these treads. You got to rotate them up, and you got to put them in there like this. Then you can sort of squeeze this all together. I like to raise this up, then you can fold this down. Same thing again here, rotate this like that. Then from here, what you can do is you can sort of just shove these into the shoulders and rotate this around and press this in. Then tab this all into place here. Snap that into place. Do the same on this side. So rotate this down and basically push this all into place like so. Like that. Lift that up like that. Push the tank barrel back down. Then again, I just like to put the guns there. You can put the guns on the back as well. Very simply, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Brawl back in his amazing looking tank mode. And so, guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Brawl, what a fantastic figure. There is literally, in my opinion, nothing really wrong with this figure, besides the one major issue. Obviously, that major issue is the fact that on his ankle rocker joint that is mainly going to be used for his limb mode, for his foot mode, it was not properly assembled, and because of that there's a stress mark in there, and obviously there's a risk of this figure snapping in half. The fact is, you shouldn't have to go and fix that as a consumer. That should be fine from the get-go, should be fine from the factory, but unfortunately it isn't here. Like I said, links in the description to Mr. Lubat. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your YouTube name wrong, sir. Also Justin's collection as well, so you guys can see how to fix this guy, because I was able to fix him. Hopefully it stays. But again, you shouldn't have to do that for a figure like this. But regardless, looking at all the positives, the tank mode is amazing. Really nice detail, really nice paint, feels dense, plastic feels amazing, and the accessory integration, especially when it comes to the vehicle mode storage, is really, really cool here. In addition to that, the transformation, while not super simple, has some really amazing engineering and really helps hammer home that Voyager class price point, and it's not so frustrating like MP44 to the point where you want to throw the figure through a window and break it in half because of how frustrating it is. But when you finally get to that robot mode, he looks amazing. It looks like you pulled him right off the screen. Head sculpt looks amazing, very nicely painted. You know, add some nice color and contrast to the rest of the very sort of double tone body. Very nice articulation as well. Nice details across the board. His size is also really, really nice. Just slightly bigger than everyone else. Makes a lot of sense. I can't wait to see how he compares to Onslaught at the end of the day. But overall, the reverse transformation is just as fine as the transformation going there. Articulation's absolutely amazing. Right? Like, get a little bit of butterfly joints. The legs are really, really nicely articulated. You get some really nice ankle rocker pivot, especially for a very brutish character. It's really nice to see that he can move really nicely. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to give this guy a 9 out of 10. Despite the fact that there is that big issue, it is not at the end of the day the fault of the actual figure, but I still have to take a point off because this isn't just an isolated issue with my copy. It's a widespread issue with a lot of other figures that I've seen throughout the internet and online and on reviews. It's no stranger to anyone who's actually gotten this figure and currently has it. And so I did pick mine up IRL because I would still recommend you get this figure because I still think it's really good. I did pick mine up IRL, so definitely be on the lookout at your local Walmarts, your Targets, or wherever in your country that you have, a local retailer where you buy Transformers. Definitely keep an eye out for this guy because he's hitting shelves right now. If you do wish to use Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, or Hasbro Pulse, I'll leave links in the description to Brawl so you guys can pick this guy up on all of those retailers and on those online sites because because those are the ones that I use. And so at the end of the day, yeah, that's really it for the review. So I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, follow me in the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, and once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.